Nigerians, I have been weeping for Bwala because Bwala don't collect Bwala from Mehdi Hassan of Al Jazeera.
You said this. Tinubu and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we've seen a political party creating a militant arm leading to election. Your words, January 2023.
The candidate of All Progressives Congress, Bwala Tinubu, and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we're seeing a political party creating a militant arm leading to election.
Does he have a militia that tried to kill you?
He doesn't have. I never said he tried to kill me.
I myself have received threats from him and his camp. Your words.
I never said that.
You didn't say that. At a press conference on January 22nd, 2023. You're just denying.
I never said that.
There is also this threat to life, and I can tell you that because I myself have received threats from Asiwaju and his camp. And this is evident, is everywhere I've reported to law enforcement. A lot of people have been threatened. I am not surprised because a militia has been created.
Who said it then? A lookalike?
No, I don't know what you meant by that.
At this point, Bwala had to take his final prayers.
Go to the lady at the back, yeah.
You've been on different sides of the political spectrum over the years. How do you personally decide when to change your position? And how should the public make sense of that without us losing trust in you?
Yeah, politics is dynamic. It is anchored on both national interest and personal interest.
I know you have seen the video, but I'm here to break it down bit by bit to see the most embarrassing moment of a man whose politics is where belly face. You're welcome back again. This is BVI Channel 1, where we tell you undiluted truth. Since yesterday, when Bwala Daniel, the special advisor to Tinubu on media, went head to head with the most brutal journalist and interviewer of Al Jazeera, Hassan Mehdi. And what happened is what is trending everywhere. And I'm here to break it down for you. And here is the most embarrassing moment everybody is talking about.
My guest today is Daniel Bwala, Special Advisor to President Tinubu of Nigeria. Let's talk more about your boss, President Tinubu. He's been on the political scene in Nigeria for decades, first as governor of Lagos and now as president since 2023. He's a very rich man in a very impoverished country, and there's a lot of mystery as to where he got his wealth, estimated to be in the billions of dollars. What do you say to people who highlight allegations against him of, quote, massive corruption and misappropriation of funds?
That's their opinion.
Actually, it's your opinion. In January 2023, you talked about the legal petition against him that involves, quote, massive corruption and misappropriation of funds. You were in the opposition and were very critical of his wealth.
Exactly verbatim what I said, because what you just said is not a true representation of
January 22nd, 2023, you said the petition against him involves massive corruption and misappropriation of funds belonging to the government of Lagos State, abuse of official office, conflict of interest.
I'm glad you said the petition against him.
Yeah.
Yeah, document that was taken to court.
That you highlighted.
I wasn't the one that went to court. And at that time, where was I?
You were an opposition member.
Thank you.
So should we not trust you when you say things as opposition?
What is the job of opposition?
To oppose?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you know it.
For the sake of opposing?
No, that's what you're adding.
I mean, you didn't just say that.
No, go to Westminster on Wednesday by 9 o'clock.
Okay.
You'll understand the job of the opposition.
You can do whataboutism all day, that's fine. You also said that, well, you know what doesn't happen in Westminster in the US Congress?
I know what does happen.
Well, I'm telling you what doesn't happen. Politicians don't accuse other politicians of setting up a militia. You said
they also accuse the governing party
you said at the time,
on mistake in judgment in appointing someone that eventually turned out to be somebody in the FCC.
Yeah, if you think that this is comparable to Starmer and Mandelson, good luck to you if that's your defense tonight. You said at the time that Tinubu started a militia to sway the election corruptly and that they even threatened you. So how can we take anything seriously you say tonight in his defense?
Your opinion, Nigerians.
So my opinion is your opinion. Sorry, Daniel, it's your opinion.
That was litigated in Nigeria to conclusion, and then as a country we moved on. We are more interested about the deliverables that we have for the Nigerian people, and we look for
opportunities. Nigerians are very concerned about corruption, and Tinubu, you said this, Tinubu and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we've seen a political party creating a militant arm leading to election. Your words, January 2023.
Context is everything.
There is no context.
I'm coming. You are quoting the things I said when I was in the opposition.
And I understand that's uncomfortable for you, but
No,
you
no,
did
no,
say
no,
them.
I'm
if you
free,
want to disown them,
I'm
that's
okay
fine.
for you to ask anything I've
So
ever
does he
said.
have a militia that tried to kill you?
He doesn't have. I never said he tried to kill me.
I myself have received threats from him and his camp. Your words.
I never said that.
You didn't say that
I never
at a
said
press
that.
conference on January 22nd, 2023.
I
You're
never
just
said-
denying.
I never said that.
Who said it then? A lookalike.
No, I don't know what you meant by that. I know I complained at the time
You said-
about the conduct of election.
It is not my fault
Right.
that I am able to recall your words in a way you
but,
can't.
but it will be your fault
Tinubu-
when you read it out of context. Yeah.
If we go home late tonight, context.
Yes.
Tinubu and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we've seen a political party creating a militant arm and leading to election. He advised his people should grab by all means necessary the process leading to elections, that they created this militia shortly after that. We have seen violence in Nigeria, and I myself have received threats from him and his camp.
Tinubu never created a militia. Tinubu is one of the foremost politicians in Nigerian history.
Tinubu and his
has
people
helped in strengthening
created
democracy.
a militia. Who said those words, Daniel?
Tinubu has helped in strengthening democracy in
Tinubu
Nigeria.
and his people created a militia, Daniel. Who said those words?
Tinubu brought in leadership
I'll ask a third
skills
time.
into governance.
Tinubu and his people created a militia. Who said those words?
Tinubu and his people never created the militias. That's
So
what I
why
said.
did you say they did on January 22nd, 2023?
I never said that.
The candidate of All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we are seeing a political party creating a militant arm leading to election.
Let's keep going since you're denying words that came out of your mouth. Let's quote some other folks.
And one surprising thing about this whole thing is that Bwala kept asking where, when, which source, and the man is giving it to him on point with the date being very precise.
Or very badly. 1 in 3 Nigerians say they personally know someone who's been kidnapped.
Yeah, you have
These
a
are stunning
still-
statistics. Amnesty, Human Rights Watch have lined up to say that you have allowed impunity to flourish, you have failed to apply lessons from previous attacks, damning indictments of
I
your
put
security
it to you,
service.
that's not what they said.
That's not what Amnesty
not
said?
what I'm, yes.
I've
Amnesty,
literally got the quote right here.
cut it.
The authorities' failure has allowed impunity to flourish and the killings to spread to many parts of the country.
Source.
Amnesty International, February 8th, 2026.
Well, I'm not aware of that one.
You're not aware of that one.
I am
at
aware.
The weekend,
I'm aware.
At the weekend, you put out a video to music of you and a team researching and prepping for this show. And yet every time I've asked you something, you say, I'm not aware of that. What were you researching in that video?
You're really funny. Let me tell you
Ask you a
this.
serious question. Amnesty
no, 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 no,
International,
no.
you asked me for a
If
source,
you ask
I read
it-
out the source. You asked me for a date, I read out the date. What's your response other than picking up glasses of water?
No, Amnesty has a history of calling everything bad.
Now, it is not only this interviewer that gave Bwala the embarrassment of his life, but this young girl threw a rocket launcher Bwala was not even expecting.
Go to the lady at the back, yeah.
You've been on different sides of the political spectrum over the years. How do you personally decide when to change your position? And how should the public make sense of that without us losing trust in you?
Yeah, politics is dynamic. It is anchored on both national interest and personal interest. And when you make a decision at any given time, there must be a factor, what led to your decision.
Bagam, and that exposed Bwala to whom he is. It exposed Bwala to whom he is. Even if you check other people who asked him questions, it also elaborated that his position, which he have accepted, is the politics of where Bele face. It's about self-survival and personal interest. We had him say it very clearly.
Politics is dynamic. It is anchored on both national interest and personal interest.
You know, I have a question for Daniel, right? It's like, what made you from saying all of those things that you now disavow? What was the grand vision that made you decide, I want to work for this guy?
First of all, I left him after the primaries because he made a choice of a Muslim ticket. And I thought at the time that that would be injurious to the interests of the Christian minorities. I made that decision. And I campaigned against him. And after the election, for the next 1 year, I was critiquing policies of the president. But I saw from January right up to December how this president patiently introduced policies and continued to engage Nigerians across all platforms in a bid to push Nigeria forward. I became impressive about it, and I made a choice to do that. Just in the same way that Mehdi Hassan has worked with BBC, has worked with Sky News, then with MSNBC, and then back to Seteo. Evolution of people's life.
The worst analogy
Evolution of
I've
people's
ever
life.
heard in 14 years of doing head-to-head. What are you talking about? Somebody changing their job from one company to another is not the same as you saying he's a corrupt man who created a militia, bought an election, and now I work for him, and I only said that stuff because it was the opposition.
All of the things you said, you couldn't substantiate them.
I substantiated all of
No,
it.
you have not.
But now let us put out this whole embarrassing system, because it not be today we know Bwala, and he's like FFK, who is posted to Germany, and the other one they call Reno Omokri, the one mocking himself on the social media. Good. He has been posted to Mexico.
I found out that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed me as the Nigerian ambassador to the United Mexican States, otherwise known as Mexico.
I will address him separately. Now, the issue I have been thinking, because since this video came out, the interview, I was still trying to get myself around it, that this one no be AI, because very soon they will tell you it is AI. It is very simple and straightforward what Tinubu is doing with these guys. He draws his enemy closer. He buys them in because they know that their stomach infrastructure, their personal interest is what matters. So, they name their price. They pay them, bring them on board, and what did Tinubu do? Very, very smart. He brings you in and throw you out to be humiliated. Why is it that Tinubu did not say to Ononuga to go for this media interview? Why Daniel Bwala? You get the point? Why Daniel Bwala? So Tinubu is a very smart man in humiliating his enemies. Don't ever attempt, if you have ever criticized him in the past, if you have ever dragged him in the past, just like me now, tomorrow I'll start working for Tinubu. In fact, I told my people one time, I think during that, before he's grabbing it and running it in 2023, I told some of my team that I saw myself in the dream where Tinubu is trying to make me work for him or be part of his media online shenanigan. I told my team, and I told them I was rebuking and casting it. Because if it eventually amounts to real life, the kind of humiliation you are going to get is what is even what Bwala is facing today. So it's very, very orchestrated by Tinubu to humiliate him. He will make you, his critic, to eat your words if you ever come to dine with him. And he can present you with the kind of money that you cannot even, hey, when you see that money, and check all the amount you have made in life, you will say, yeah, you throw your shame and integrity to the winds. And he will perfect a time to humiliate you. And that is what Bwala is doing now. He has come to terms with it, and he has vowed to live with it. That is why he is out there trying to explain himself, because he don't explain, can't tire. Look at the long epistle he's writing to defend the humiliation he has gone through in the hand of Hassan Mehdi, the man who have broken a lot of rods on that interview. I give him kudos, and I hope Nigerian journalists are learning. The ones that are trying to send of Arise and that of Sheun of Channels Television, we are looking up to you to grind these men like this. Well, what is your take, my people? I'm an advocate for good governance, and we are here to bring you the shame of a man that refused to learn the hard way, and he will learn the very hard way. I'm Asuchiret Peters. Help me share this video, and let's have your opinion on this. Bye-bye for now.